the LG V20 user here, and today I'm doing a video about the Samsung Galaxy A51. So I'm on AndroidHeadlines.com here. So if you guys want to check out this article, a link to this will be down below if you guys are interested. So Samsung is bringing the mid-range Galaxy A51 to the United States of America. All major US carriers will be selling this phone. So that is really cool. So if you guys like Samsung phones and you guys don't want to spend a whole lot of money on a Samsung phone, the Galaxy A51 could be for you. Like I said, it's coming to the US. So if you guys are interested in this phone, stay tuned for that. So let's go check out the Galaxy A51 and see what it has to say about it, shall we? There's a phone right there in front of you. Right there, it does have a hole punch for the front-facing camera, like you would see on the Galaxy S10, Galaxy Note 10, and stuff like that. Alright, so nice looking phone, great wallpaper there, colorful, vibrant, all that good stuff. It probably has a AMOLED screen on it, which is pretty cool if it does. So yeah. So it says here, the Samsung Galaxy A51 may hit the retail shelves in the US soon. The device has been recently certified by the Wi-Fi Alliance with the model number A5115U. The U at the end denotes carrier-locked US version. Firmware leaks suggest that all four major US mobile carriers, that's AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and Sprint, will offer this device. So that is pretty cool. So the Galaxy A51 will be available on all four major US carriers, and I'm sure that prepaid carriers will get this phone at some point as well. The Galaxy A51 is one of the first mid-range phones in Samsung's 2020 Galaxy A lineup. Launched alongside the Galaxy A51 in December 2019, the device has the tough task of succeeding Samsung's highly successful Galaxy A50. The A50 is available in the United States on a few carriers like Sprint, Verizon Prepaid, Straight Talk. Okay. The A50 was also released stateside. Not all the major carriers offered it. Okay, like I said, the A50 is available stateside, so it's available on Sprint, Verizon Prepaid, and Straight Talk currently. I'm surprised Boost don't have the A50. I'm surprised Boost don't have it, but it is what it is. Alright. So Samsung is looking to change that this year in order to cater to a broader audience. Samsung also reportedly has a 5G variant of the Galaxy A51 in development. So I guess when the A51 is released in the US, I guess this would be a 4G version, because this is a mid-range phone. Of course, you guys know that. But there is a 5G version of this phone in development. So that's really cool as well. It will likely release in South Korea in the coming months. It remains to be seen if Samsung has plans to bring it to the US as well. So the Galaxy A51 5G version will be available in South Korea in the coming months. There is no word if Samsung will bring the A51 with 5G to the United States. There's no word on it just yet. So we don't know about that yet, but we do know that the A51 is coming to the United States. This will be a 4G version, so do keep that in mind. Galaxy A51 US price. There is no word yet from Samsung about pricing or release date of the Galaxy A51 in the US. The device is priced at €369, just €20 higher than the Galaxy A50's launch price. Going by this, the Galaxy A51 should not cost in the upwards of $370 in the US. The Galaxy A50 was priced at $350 when it was The Galaxy A50 was priced at $350 when it first arrived in the US market last year. So the Galaxy A50 was $350 when it was released in the US last year. The A51 should be around similar pricing to that. It might be a tad bit more than $350 because it's a slight upgrade of the A50, I believe it is. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit expensive, but it's not gonna be like, you know, $1,000 expensive. So it's gonna be a couple $100. It's gonna be a few $100, alright. But it's worth it if you guys like mid-range phones and stuff like that. If Samsung indeed launches the Galaxy A51 at under $400, it will make for an excellent proposition from the company. This device offers some valuable upgrades over the Galaxy A50 while carrying a comparable price tag. It is the first Samsung Galaxy smartphone to feature a macro camera, which is really cool. The 5-megapixel lens on the back makes it possible to capture clean, close-up images of a subject. The macro camera is flanked by a 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensor, a 5-megapixel depth sensor, and a 48-megapixel primary lens. So this phone, I think this phone has 4 cameras on it. I think this phone has 4 cameras on it, that's from what I see here. So you have a 5-megapixel macro lens camera. You have a 5-megapixel macro lens, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 5-megapixel depth sensing camera, and a 48-megapixel primary lens. So you have 4 cameras on back, so that is really cool. The A50 has 3 cameras on back. The A51 will have 4 cameras on the back. The rest of the specs are identical to that of the A50. Under the hood is an Exynos 9611 SoC, which is technically the same as A50's Exynos 9610. With 4 GB of RAM and 64 128 GB of storage, depending on what on what storage options that you get. There is also an optional on-screen fingerprint reader and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is a win. So this phone has an in-display fingerprint sensor that is fucking cool for a mid-range phone. So that would be a win for those of you who are interested to try a in-display fingerprint sensor. It also has a headphone jack, which is nice to have because a lot of phones are not coming with one now. So that's a win that Samsung is including a headphone jack with this phone. A 4,000 milliamp battery fuels the whole package and comes with a 15-watt fast charging support. The Galaxy A51 has a 3D classic body with a prism-like crisscross pattern and a granite effect and a gradient effect. Alright, so the specs on this phone are really good. This is a mid-range smartphone. It has 4 GB of RAM, 64 or 128 GB of storage. The 64 GB version, I would say it'd be like the 350, 370 price range, and the 128 GB version will be closer to $400. In my opinion, that's what I think the prices will be. But there is no word on pricing just yet or release date, so stay tuned for that. Here is the certification ID for the Galaxy A51 US version. So it's gonna have dual band Wi-Fi, Android 10. The A51 is gonna have Android 10 out the box, or Android Q. That's a win. Firmware version A51. A hardware version, smartphone, multi-mode. So yeah, this spec sheet for this phone is pretty good. Screen size, I don't know what the screen size is. I don't know. I think it's like what, 6.5 inch display. I think it's 6.5 inch display, I think. So it's a slight upgrade over the A50. So yeah. So the Samsung Galaxy A51 is coming to the US. All major US carriers will be selling this phone. So that includes T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon. There is no word on release date or price. I'm sure that prepaid carriers will get this phone as well. So if you guys are looking to get a mid-range Samsung phone but don't want to spend a whole lot of money on one, the Galaxy A51 could be for you. It's coming to the US at some point. So stay tuned for that. And the good news is that all US carriers, all major US carriers, will be offering this phone, so that is a win. So doesn't matter what carrier you're on, and it doesn't matter what carrier you're on. If you guys want the A51, you guys will be able to get it for your respective carrier. So that is a win for Samsung as well, because that will give more people, that'll give more people a chance to buy their phone if it's on multiple carriers instead of like one carrier or whatever. So that's good news by Samsung for doing that. It will give the A51 hopefully a good selling. Hopefully the A51 will sell well. So we'll see about that. The A51 is a mid-range smartphone with pretty good specs on it. You do have two storage options, 64 gigs or 128 gigs. There's no word on price, like I said. So I think the 64 gigabyte version will be like $350, $360, $370, something like that, and the 128 gigabyte version will be closer to $400 in my opinion. So we will have to wait and see about that, and we will have to wait and see if all major US carriers offer both versions of the phone, 64 gigs and the 128 gigabyte versions. I think there is a micro SD card on this phone, so that is a win. That comes with fast charge. It has Android 10 on it, Android 10 of One UI 2.0, I think it is. I think it'll have the new One UI from Samsung on there with Android 10. So that is pretty cool. So not bad for a mid-range phone like this. So great job Samsung for that. The phone looks very nice on the front. The back of the phone will have full cameras and stuff like that. So yeah. So if you guys are interested in a Galaxy A51, it is coming to the US. It's coming to all major US carriers, so stay tuned for that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, guys. It helps me out a lot. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.